I am heavy bored.
I may say that the male is entirely hostile. No!
Resources.
Life, friends, is boring. We must not say so.
Yeah, this was a really enjoyable one too to watch.
Yeah, now I rewatched it probably twice, and it's just yeah, some of my favorite episodes might be in this season.
There's
Some of my
some
favorite
great
characters.
cold opens too with the I guess because it is established that we've been talking about like the characters are established, like kind of things and we'll get to like kind of who I don't know. Yeah, this season was great. I mean, it was a great watch. It was a great rewatch, really. And I have like more notes on this season than I had on the previous ones. I got like 4 pages.
Yeah, same.
And yeah, so there's plenty to go into because we are back continuing the Modern Family series on Heavy Board, and we're back with friend of the pod, Eric at Bazillion Plus, known as Organized Meat out there on Twitter and Instagram. Eric, welcome back to the pod.
Thanks for having me. Love doing this series.
Of course, bro. And we are going into part three now. So part three, season three, that's how we're kind of lining it up, listeners. And of course, there's kind of this is for enjoyment, but also there's a little bit of a thesis. As if you listen to the first 2 parts, go listen to those. A little bit of a thesis on this about how Modern Family maps the kind of last decade of decline, let's say, decline in
Yeah.
television quality writing, discourse, politics taking over everything and stuff like that. And there's little hints in this season. Uh, but it's still it's this is 2011 to 2012 for this season. So it's not, even the 2014, 2015 era where politics becomes into everything, but just little hints here and there. But yeah, this one was mostly just a really enjoyable watch for something like this. It's like just a lot of fun. And I mean, dude, guest stars, I mean, right away. We've had guest stars like the guest stars are ramped up. And I mean like huge
Tim
stars.
Blake
Like
Nelson, I think, was the first episode.
yeah, yeah.
And at that time, he was like a much bigger star. But,
And I mean he was like
I think Bryan Cranston directs one of the episodes.
right, dude, Cranston just directing, dude.
Um, Dave Cross shows up.
Oh yeah. Dude, David Cross, we're going to talk about that too, because David Cross, I was texting Eric about
Mhm.
this, has one of my favorite bits maybe in the whole series. And it's not even like a huge bit or anything. It's like 2 minutes in like one episode. But yeah, that's great. So yeah, first, you know how we came to this, you know what we've been doing, listeners, if you've been listening to every episode so far. But yeah, all right. So how was watching this one, Eric? I mean, I already said mine.
This one was a lot of fun. I mean, they they continue the same style of jokes. There's no they're not guarding themselves with anything. The story has the ongoing plot of Pam and Mitchell wanting to adopt another baby. It's got also a sort of a smaller plot, but when ongoing plots throughout the season that kind of really hold it together.
Yeah, one of them being Dylan again with
Ah, yes.
Haley's like on again off again boyfriend. Uh that like goes full circle this season too, which is a nice touch. And I mean honestly, like we've said
Yeah.
before, I think in previous episodes, just like dude, I mean the way they managed to like keep Dylan around for like 11 seasons is pretty funny too. Like yeah, it usually works out. He just like comes in here and there. And it's usually
Hmm.
pretty funny, usually comic relief. But yeah, guest stars right away because of that first episode, dude. I mean, just a great season opener with that dude ranch.
Yeah.
And you said, yeah, Tim Blake Nelson, who is an Oscar nominee, Oscar winner. Did he win an Oscar for Oh Brother?
No, but I think he was nominated for that, and I think something else. He had like 5 years where he was just like almost in like every movie that was coming out, it seemed.
Yeah, and he's one of those guys that like you recognize his face, but he like you don't always know his name. You know, you're like, wait, that guy? Yeah, I remember that guy. And he always gives such a great performance.
Yeah.
Like just such a solid actor. But yeah, dude, Buffalo, the Dude Ranch is a great opener, especially with uh Sofia Vergara. Uh
Yeah, Tim Blake Nelson is the guy who kind of runs the Dude Ranch, and he just keeps hitting on Sofia Vergara. And it's pretty obvious, and Jay doesn't really get it till the end. Like, he kind of notices, but he's not really doing anything about it. I thought, yeah, that's great.
dude, and like Phil and like he's giving everybody nicknames while they're on the Dude Ranch. Phil's nickname at one point, it's like
Yeah,
halfway through the episode when he's all right, Buffalo Phil, you go over there and you take this side, and he's like, Buffalo Phil. It was worth the wait. Because he like didn't get a nickname. He was like upset that he like didn't get a nickname like everybody else.
yeah,
Philadelphia dude. And he loves his
yeah,
Buffalo Phil nickname.
yeah. And Manny asks where the spa, uh, if he has to sign up for the spa treatments, or and he's like, "I like you, kid. I'm gonna call you Hollywood." And then I think Gloria, he calls her Cactus Flower, and Jay's just old timer. He just keeps calling Jay old timer.
Dude, and then there's that great scene too.
That's also,
No, go on.
I was gonna say, there's also
Shit,
that. So this is the first episode. We find out that Cam and Mitchell want to adopt a baby boy, and Mitchell's like, you know what, this Dude Ranch thing, this is time for me to like kind of toughen up and butch up, and because I want to teach my son all the things that my dad taught Claire. And so yeah, there's a whole plot with him and Luke putting a firecracker in a birdhouse and blowing it up, and then
Yeah, dude, that's
trying to do
great.
like boy things.
Yeah, that is great. Yeah, he like doesn't know what to do. Uh uh
Yeah,
and dude, one of my favorite part of this whole episode might be that kind of towards the end when they're going to rescue Gloria and Jay and Phil are riding up on that horse together. And like yeah,
Mhm.
together on the saddle. And Sofia Vergara's like, "Oh my God, do I look like the type of woman who would cheat on their husbands?" And then Tim Blake Nelson just looks at her. He's like, "Yes." They show her in like heels and like her tits out or whatever at like this dude ranch.
Yeah,
It's like, do I look like the type of person that would cheat on their
yeah,
husband?
and
He's like, yeah. So good. That's something too we're gonna
this is
get to.
also the episode where
Go on.
this is also the episode where Alex gets uh, kissed by like this like little like this like kind of New York Guido kid, like falls in love with her, and yeah, and it's also you notice that in that episode Alex is also reading the Freakonomics book.
Yeah. Dude, that was big at the time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn off video for a second. I'm only doing that to there's like a we keep cutting out a little bit. I cut you out a little bit. I'll see if that helps at all. We'll see.
Okay.
If that well just to save bandwidth or something, if it's like yeah, dude, Freakonomics was fucking huge. Uh
Hmm.
huge at the time. Uh and it's fitting that Alex is reading it like nobody else in the family's reading it too.
Yeah.
Because that starts happening too. Because we've talked about this before too, but the kids become even more part of the plot. Um, we're gonna get to this. I mean, Eric and I were texting about this. Basically, this season is like peak Manny Delgado. Uh, with like, everything that makes Manny a great character. This is like peak Manny Delgado.
Yeah, because
Uh,
he's kind of old enough to where he really wants to like more people are dating, right? He's kind of getting older, so he has he can show that like kind of very adult romantic side of him and kind of his odd quirkiness. Uh, you know, really into musicals. Wants to lead in the play. So yeah, really develops that character, and also this is the season where they bring in like a new Lily. So this is the Lily that we have from this season till the end of the show, right?
Right.
A little girl who like talks more, and they can kind of do more with that character, whereas they really couldn't in the first two seasons because she wasn't really talking yet, or didn't have any like sense of herself. And now she's starts out by kind of being a wise ass, very deadpan acting, which it works sometimes. Sometimes it's just like for lack of emotion in like the later seasons. It's like I don't know, it doesn't really work. But when she's little, it does.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And it's the problem is the same problem with Lily is the same problem with all the child actors eventually, except maybe Haley, who was like, yeah, like 20 when she got cast, is
Yeah.
yeah, you cast these kids when they're yeah, little and stuff, and then they get older and they still have to act, and they're just like, yeah, like, they're not great actors. Lily
Mhm.
suffers from that a little bit. Like her lines are so canned when she delivers them, especially as she gets older. When she's little, it's still like cute enough that like the actor gets away with it. But
Yeah.
yeah, they were used basically they used Lily in this season basically how they used the kids in the first two, where it's like, yeah, Luke in the first two were just like little quips, little one-liners that like the kid comes in there. And there's some of them are really great. The one where they're like doing the face mash for the baby, their like potential child, when they like scream at what it looks
Mhm.
like when they mash Cam and Mitch's faces together, and Lily like screams at it. She's like, "Daddy, Daddy!" Then she sees the pictures like, ah, like they like close the laptop. That's great. And then I think of the scene where they're trying to get the Christmas tree for the Christmas episode, and then Mitch goes on one of his tirades about like, yeah, the anti-gay thing because the guy they thought he was pointing to a pink Christmas tree, but he was pointing to like the truck full of trees behind it. And they like, make a fool of themselves by going on
Yeah.
this like high horse rant about how like, just because we're gay doesn't mean we want this fruity tree that's pink. Well, and the guy's like, yeah, I was pointing to the truck full of Douglas firs behind it. Like, and they're like unloading these perfect trees. And then Lily, it's just like awkward to stand there, and Lily's like, I have two daddies. He's like, we get it, honey. Like just like little lines like that. He's like, he gets the point, honey. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. Lily, yeah, okay, so I didn't even realize that they switch
Yeah.
out the
And
actors, which makes sense. I mean, it's a sitcom.
yeah, they kind of had to hurry it up just because it was like, yeah, we need to do more with this character. We can't wait for, like in real life, like, you need someone. She's probably a little bit older than the age she was playing. Um, but yeah, also another great Lily, like for one episode, it's uh I think it may have been episode two or three even. Cam and Mitchell are trying to adopt a boy, and every time she sees another boy with their father, she that they have
Oh, the My Daddy thing, yeah.
to deal with.
She like slaps them. Is like, my daddy. That's great too. There's a little scene with her and Luke. Yeah, I think it is Might in the first couple episodes where like Luke is with Cam and she like pushes Luke away. She's like, my daddy. And then she's like, oh, Lily, no. And then Luke just looks at her. He's like, this isn't over. Like walks away. So there's always great bits like that with Lily. And yeah, that'll keep
Mhm.
coming up as she comes by.
No,
Dude. And of course, Phil Dunphy, is always, dude, Phil on a wire where he's trying to tightrope walk.
yeah,
Which is the same episode that Cam does his juice fast diet. And I feel like this
yeah,
is the season where they start almost every season they introduce like Cam going on a new diet and it like not working. And this is like the first time I think because I don't think they did this in
Mhm.
the previous two seasons, but I remember like this happening all the time in like the later seasons. Cam's always on like some fad diet in LA and like just, you know, uh doesn't do it or whatever, or gets like really
Mhm.
angry because he's juice fasting. And there's also, I think in
Yeah.
that episode is a lot of like there's some jokes, there's some Jew jokes and stuff. Uh because you could still do that, right? It wasn't like some great like so it was just like a little one line bit. Like Luke thinks instead of juice fasting, it's Jew fasting.
Mhm.
And I think there was one other bit where Manny's selling like wrapping paper and he goes to the door and he's like, excuse me, ma'am, Christmas is just around the corner. And she's like, well, I'm Jewish. And he's like, oh, well, then you must love a good deal. And Jay's like right behind him. He's like, oh boy.
Yeah.
Like, he just like screws it up. Like it's like, yeah, like these little kind of quips when you could still do that and there wouldn't be like a humongous week-long outrage because you put like a
Yeah.
little one-liner Jew joke in there. What else was I gonna say about that? Yeah, the dieting.
Yeah, the ADL would be coming up with
Yeah. And in that episode, it starts to call back to the previous seasons too, where there's even like a split second clip where like Mitchell and Cam are working out and and Cam is wearing those like blurred out bike shorts again.
uh,
Like it's like literally like a tiny little 1 second thing towards the end of the episode. And it's just a
yeah,
great
there's
little
some yeah, there's
callback. Yeah.
callbacks like that. Mhm.
The blur at his like blue bike shorts and shit. Yeah, great stuff with that. Even I was thinking in the fourth episode when the dog goes missing. That has a great cold open too with Manny at his peak. And it's the one where like just the whole episode opens with Jay and Gloria like in bed in the morning and she's like, Jay, you're snoring. He's like, oh, it's not me. And he like looks and the dog is like in his arms. He's like, oh, the dog must have gotten scared and crawl in here at night. And she's like, yeah, well, how come when Manny has nightmares, you never let him get in the bed? And then Jay's just like, oh, it's 6 in the morning. Can we not do this now? And the camera zooms out and like Manny's sleeping at the foot of the bed, like on the floor. And he's just like, answer the question, Jay. And it was like one of the cold opens is
Yeah,
so good. Like, yeah.
yeah, because it is like because Manny is still like very much a mama's boy, even though he's still like getting older, and so that's why this is kind of like he's still not too old where it isn't still cute,
Right. But he's
but
over
it's
10 now.
also
So yeah.
yeah, yeah,
When you're like 8, there's like a difference when you're like an 8-year-old kid versus when you're like 11-year-old kid with that. Yeah. And the cuteness
yeah,
factor.
yeah. It's a year is a long time. But one of 17, and it was when Claire, Alex, and Haley all get their period at the
Yes.
same time. And I mean, and this is like a thing that like almost every sitcom had show.
Yeah.
Like there's an episode where it was like, the woman's on her period or something. And I especially Married with Children had an episode where they go camping in the woods and Peggy, Marcy, and Kelly all dared. And, and a bear tries attacking the cabin because he can sense that the women are eat. And it's just like women being crazy because of their periods and like they sync up together. And it just uh, yeah, Phil, it's like it's leap day,
Yeah.
February 29th, and Phil like observes it as like this special thing, and he's got this plan that they're all going to go trapezing at this like carnival type theme ingredient, but like he gets scared each one he meets. He's like, oh no, like they all synced up. He called it like Satan's trifecta. Yeah, so they all try getting out of it. Eventually, they make up a story, and Luke has to stay home with the women while Manny and Luke behind. And so they try rescuing him, and that he cut his finger and he's got to go to the hospital. So he says, "Okay, Luke." put on put on a little fake blood on your finger and covered his whole body in fake blood. And then Claire and the girls come in and see it and start freaking out, and like Phil's caught in this lie. It's just I, that episode. Just for that, and also Mitchell ended up playing Cam's birthday party, and I mean that whole thing is hilarious. But they end up on the boat. He ends up renting a boat, and the all right, now come on, follow the birthday flag. And he's holding up this birthday flag, like literally. And Cam says, "Wait, what did you call? Oh, like he was like, what did you call me?" Like he thought he was saying something else other than flag. And so you can make jokes like that. It's yeah, episode 17. That's my favorite this season. Yeah, I watched that a few times.
Hold up, man. This is something's going on where I keep losing you in the middle of with
Hmm.
yeah, I mean it could
Uh,
just be a slow connection or something today or whatever. Everybody's streaming those games.
yeah.
We'll see something here before we keep going because I don't want it to keep cutting out. It'll like you'll be in the middle of something, it'll cut out on my end, and I just sometimes the recording picks it up anyway if it's like because it's recording both, audio sets. Uh, but I don't want to like lose everything, as we go through this. So let me just double check. Worst case scenario, we'll get out of this room and we'll just restart the chat, and that's something that usually works too, give us like a better connection or something. Yeah, it sounds better already.
Okay, good.
Yeah, if it just like, yeah, maybe I'll turn off camera here just to save bandwidth as well. So this should work out here. I see you got everything saved and all that. I forget every time I restarted Zoom and all that too. And like every time you do that with this new when you're recording on Zoom, it like has to convert the files. That's why it took me like a couple extra minutes, even though it was only like 15 minutes. It like still like, oh, I have to wait for this fucking
Hmm.
file to convert. But all right, yeah. So where were we? We were on the period episode, episode 17 with Leap Day. Yeah, dude. And you were saying, I mean, this is what it is, right? Because you could make period jokes and it wasn't like some offensive thing. It was like a funny bit, with yeah, and you were saying almost like a
Yeah.
classic sitcom trope too. Like it's very classic with this kind of yeah, all the women in their periods sync up in the same house, and like the fact that like Phil has to have all these plans to like deal with it. And he's trying to help the boys, like because Manny's over or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like Luke, Phil, and Manny trying to deal with like all these period. And Claire is like a total bitch to
Mhm.
Phil the whole time until like the end of the episode.
Yeah. No, when Claire's angry at Phil, that's always like
Yeah.
that's always brings out the best in Phil. Like, yeah, that's always Phil's funniest moments. Like there's a scene where I think it's a cold open where they're in this supermarket shopping. Phil and Claire are, and like I don't know, Claire's pushing the cart, and Phil's like trying to get out of the way for this like pretty woman that he's like kind of obviously, and he ends up like bumping Claire, like, and she ends.
Yeah.
He asks the woman that, like, "Oh, are you okay with him?" Right? That get the she ends up getting the surveillance footage from the grocery store. It's crazy.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
is
that's like
great.
Claire and Phil at the big.
Yeah. This is also the season, and I noticed this in like later in the season when it was like the election day episode. This is like the season three seems to be that like the season that like where the character trope of Claire being like the alcoholic kind of wine mom joke, start to enter and like carry through the rest of the series. Particularly in that election day episode because
Yeah,
like she does that radio show and everyone thinks she's drunk or whatever. But like it becomes like a running
yeah,
gag in the series that like Claire's like a wine mom. And this is like at the time when like wine mom was becoming a thing, like a phrase people knew and understood.
Mhm.
She's like, "Oh, I just need a glass
Yeah,
of white wine here in the tub," or yeah.
and also it's they do that like she wants to get a job. She just doesn't want to like stay at home and be a mom anymore. Right. This is kind of where she starts looking for something to do. And that's where the city council thing, um, you know, she's trying to get the stop sign put up, the debate episode where she has to debate him. I mean, that's also hilarious. I really like that plot line. And then you get David Cole, city council guy, and that's it's perfect for him because David Cross is good at playing a smug prick because that's who he is in real life. It's perfect for him.
Yeah, David Cross is perfectly cast in this as like, especially because he's one of those, he plays the same person in every role, really, you know?
Yeah.
But that in particular, David Cross is so good in it too. Like the dude, and I was texting Eric about this, like the ice cream cake bit, like when they first introduce him, is just one of my favorite bits in the whole series. And it's so like subtle, but I just like can't stop laughing the whole time. And it's not even like anything anyone's saying except David Cross, where like
Mm.
the meeting ends and they have like the birthday cake and they're like right there. And he's just like, oh, well, okay, well, make it quick because this is an ice cream cake. And then the guy next to him was like, actually, it's not. And he's like, it's not? Oh, well, take your time. We're not waiting on anything. And then
Yeah.
like it keeps coming back up because like Phil rushes in after like Claire gives his speech and like ruins it, you know? But he's just like, I'm gonna make this quick because that looks like an ice cream cake. And David Cross is just like, well, it's not. And, like shouts at him. And then like at the very end, he like takes a bite and just spits it out 'cause it's like regular cake and not ice cream. Like I just love that bit.
Yeah, no, it establishes him as just like this frivolous fucking asshole that like runs city council, but obviously has like is way more concerned about other things in his work. Like he also there's a like he apparently also breeds puggles,
Yeah.
which I guess Jay they end up getting a dog. I don't know, was it last season or this season?
Yeah, I think
I think
last season,
yeah, they did. I guess is that a puggle?
yeah, I
Is that
think
what
so.
that's
Some
supposed to
type of
be?
like miniature pug or yeah.
Because like Jay was like, really impressed by that, like, because he's like, oh, he won the Puggy Award or something like that. Like, yeah, I don't know.
And David
But,
Cross's face when he watches that video that like Luke and Phil made or whatever just
mhm,
like makes me laugh. He's just like so uncaring. Like they keep showing his face as he's like watching it. And
yeah,
just so great. Yeah, so great. David Cross. And then David Cross keeps coming back because he's like the city council member or whatever, or the town council or county council, whatever, low level politician. That keeps coming back because that's who Claire ends up running against, blah, blah, blah. And like every time he meets them, he like forgets who they are.
yeah,
That's a great like recurring bit. He's just like, "Oh yeah, well thank you for your vote." And she's like, "Oh, don't you remember me?" He's like, she's like at the grocery store. He's like, "Oh, of course, how are you?" And then she's just like,
yeah,
and then he actually remembers who she is. She's like the bitch that wanted the stop sign or whatever. Like
yeah.
David Cross, dude. Perfect cast for that. Yeah. And that fucking cake, dude. I think about that. Like, I've thought about that since I first saw that episode, like years ago, just because
Mhm.
that little tiny cake bit is so good. The ice cream cake, he's like pissed it isn't an ice cream cake, and it's just so fucking good, dude. Him just spitting out that mountain of cake as he's like taking a bite and then just like spits it out, and they're still talking to him.
Yeah, just to like rub it in the guy's face.
And dude, again, there are always classic movie references in this where like the dog goes missing in that fourth episode and Cam and Gloria are like looking for it. And then
Mhm.
Cam starts doing the Stanley Kowalski from Streetcar because he
Yeah,
got like
Stella.
hot, so he like took his shirt off, so he has like an undershirt and jeans on, and then they're calling out Stella, and he's like, "Oh my God!" And then he just starts like doing like a Stanley Kowalski,
Yeah.
Stella. And it's just, yeah, more classic references in this great written sitcom where you would have little gems to classic literature, popular books, popular classic films, you know.
Yeah, I think is it the Halloween episode where like um they're going trick or treating and I guess Manny like pulled the fire drill at school. Um or was accused of doing that. And so he's like the cool kids like him now, like the kids that used to make fun of him and they're trick or treating. And one of his friends is dressed as an Angels baseball player, and Luke is dressed as the devil, and Manny's just wearing this like Gene Kelly like singing in the rain type suit. And yeah, Manny's like wondering if he should like go hang out with like the cool kids. And like they put the guy who's on the angel like on one side of him and Luke as the devil on the other side. So it's like that classic like angel and devil like speaking to him, like, you know,
Yeah.
yes, no, don't do it. Yeah, that's great.
And this like one thing I noticed watching this where I was trying to think of who was getting the most screen time. I didn't, track it with a stopwatch or something, listeners, but like I was just thinking as we got like 5 or 6 episodes in when I was taking notes, watching this in chunks, like 5, 6, 7 episodes at a time, because that's like what, like an hour and a half of like watching this sitcom because these are just so great, tight, 22-minute, plots.
Mhm.
It kind of became kind of like Mitch and Cam became kind of the stars of the show in a way. At least in season three, I noticed distinctly Mitch and Cam got a lot of screen time, and
Yeah.
it was part. And this is what really allowed, I think, Eric Stone Street as Cam to really shine and become everybody's kind of one of everybody's favorites from the show.
Hmm.
And of course, that actor's stuck now. He's never going to be able to do anything again because everybody just sees Cam
Hmm.
every time they look at him, which is a shame because he's actually a decent actor. When I was doing that Malcolm in the Middle rewatch, just like lazily for something to watch, I
Yeah.
saw he guest stars on an episode, and this was
Oh.
in like '98. So that guy had been trying to like be cast as an actor for like 20 years before he got like the Modern Family role.
Hmm.
He plays a very minor role. He plays like an exterminator that comes in for like 2 minutes, and he's funny and great. It's basically Cam, but not gay.
Yeah.
Same type of thing. But yeah, I don't know. What did you think about that? I saw Cam and Mitch got quite a lot of screen time in this one, and mainly because the overarching arc of this season was the running for office for Claire and stuff, but then also the adopting the baby for Cam and Mitch. It starts in the very first episode, and then by the finale, there's like, which we're gonna get to, which is also great.
Mhm.
Where they're actually trying to adopt the baby, like they're at the hospital waiting for the woman that's giving up the baby for adoption to like hand it over.
Yeah.
So that like carries through. Maybe it's because of that, but I think maybe just because, yeah, Eric Stone Street was so strong as Cam, and then I think, despite that actor, I forget that actor's name who plays Mitchell. Um,
Jesse Tyler Ferguson.
yeah, what a name, dude, Jesse
Yeah.
Tyler Ferguson, very L.A. County, yeah, yeah, uh, he's not as good an actor as Cam is, but they do have great chemistry together. Like that
Mhm.
just it's so clear that, yeah, like those two actors just work off each other so well, especially by season three, where they have like the characters kind of down,
Mhm.
especially their confessionals together. They're just always riffing on one another so well and it just kind of works. And maybe that's why they just had such great chemistry with, I mean, all the actors do obviously, but like just Cam and Mitch especially, like those two actors just had like great fucking chemistry.
Yeah. I mean, well, Cam is like an improv guy, and like Mitchell is a like a normal like he comes from like theater background.
Right.
So I think that like that dynamic worked, whereas like Cam could, improvise some jokes, and the writers were like, yeah, oh yeah, like I like that. Because that's like, in the later seasons, once they characters kind of really got to know themselves, like around now, it's like, yeah, this is where they can start actually really inhabiting their characters and saying, improving lines that the writers will actually keep in the show. So I think that really worked to Cam's advantage. Um, yeah,
It's
especially with the fact that they're both adopting a baby, they kind of like kept that front and center. So yeah, I think that's also one reason why the overarching story of the season actually involved them because those characters were so loved.
Yeah, and it's hard to think back. Even I have to like go back and watch like that documentary of like the final season and stuff that's on Hulu. It's at
Mhm.
like the end of the final season if you watch the all 11 seasons, which we will be doing on this show, listeners. Where they say something about that, where they said it was obvious because I think Mitchell was one of the first ones that they cast with Jesse Tyler Ferguson. And he said, so he read with a few different cams, you know, when they were trying to find Cam. And he just said, yeah, when Eric Stone Street kind of walked into the room and they started doing lines together, he said it just felt it. They felt it right away. And of course, everybody in the room felt it. Oh, yeah, these people are working well together. Let's cast this guy as Cam, you know.
Yeah.
I saw something interesting when I was watching that John Candy documentary, which is very mediocre. The one that came out on Amazon
Mhm.
recently.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks does a lot of FaceTime in that, which is strange because I think they only did like one movie together, Splash.
Oh yeah.
And Candy has a minor role in that too. But apparently he said like during those scenes, almost everything was improv. And he said, Hanks said at that time, he found it difficult to work with Candy at first because he was like kind of a professional trained actor, you know, didn't come
Yeah.
out of the improv comedy theaters. So he said Candy would just start throwing stuff at him. And I've heard actors talk about Robin Williams in this way too, you know, the big, great, you know, improvisers. Eddie
Mhm.
Murphy, like these guys that just throw things at you while you're acting with them and you have to kind of react. And he said Hanks said he started getting frustrated at first, but then he kind of realized that like Candy, because he thought Candy was like trying to upstage him or something.
Hmm.
But then like Candy, you know, he kind of realized after a few takes, he's like, oh, he's trying to work with me. Like he's giving me things to like work off of. He's like, come on, let's go. Let's try things. You know, like let's, you know. And then it worked out. Like apparently the scene in Splash where they argue or something, Candy and Hanks, is all improv. Like they literally just at that point they were just rolling the cameras and Candy was just
Ah,
going off and they were just fight. You know when they're fighting back and forth and they're just kind of
yeah.
saying things. Apparently that was mostly improv and due to John Candy. So I mean actors like that bring so much energy. I mean come on, Robin Williams is the biggest example of this.
Yeah.
He's untouchable on screen. He's so charismatic. He's so funny. He's so goofy. Like, and he can also be dead serious. You know, Oscar winning. So yeah, I imagine that's tough to work with. But yeah,
Yeah.
dude, Mitch and Cam become the kind of stars, and for good reason, yeah, because they're great chemistry, and it's always usually pretty funny. We mentioned this already, but I don't know if we said everything. The peak Manny, you and I were texting about this because Manny is one of the best characters for a while there.
Mhm.
Um, uh, I was doing the same thing that'll come up. I was writing down my favorite Phil lines as I was seeing them. And one of them was in that episode with the town council with like David Cross and stuff and Claire running for office. When Phil says something in like a confessional, he's like, "I'll admit it, I'm a turned on by powerful women," and he starts listing them, and he's like Michelle Obama, Oprah, Condoleezza Rice, Serena. Is oh wait, like he just like stops and he's like listing all these black women,
Yeah. No,
and he like
that
stops and
was great.
realizes he's just attracted to black women, like.
That's one of my favorite lines of his too. Yeah, that's
And the way Ty Burrell does it is so perfect in that he like kind of just slowly trails off and like the realization comes over his face and he just stops talking and then they
yeah.
like cut off the camera. Like, yeah, it's just so great.
Yeah, it's perfect timing. And also, one of my favorite lines of his was during the debate, like Claire's debate. They bring up the whole that incident with him getting caught in a hotel room or
Right.
something.
The season before for the Valentines with the Clive Bigsby and Juliana when he goes in the
Yeah,
old lady's wrong hotel room. So he's like naked on the bed.
yeah, and like so, David Cross calls him a pervert, and then Phil stands up and is like, "The only person I'm a pervert for is my wife." And like it's like edited on social media and like auto tuned, and it just goes to him saying, "I'm a pervert."
And then he's like something for he's like, and I don't want anybody else's wives. And they like manipulate it. He's like, if you make love to their wives, he's like, not me, them, the others. They make love to their wives. Like just like yeah, blowing it up. And it's like in the middle of a live debate
Yeah.
on TV. He like stands up. Also, dude, subtle line. I think it was in that same episode, but Cam says this at some point. Oh, it's when they hit and run.
Mhm.
when Cam and Mitch get hit by that car and the guy gets out, he's, oh, let me get my insurance, and he just takes off. And
Yeah.
then he's like, what should we have done? Should we have chased him down? And people are saying, chase him down. He's like, what? It could have been armed. And then Cam says, he wasn't armed. He had a Hillary bumper sticker.
Yeah.
And this
Yeah.
was 2011, 2012. And this is not the first kind of reference to political elections in the series.
Mhm.
I think there is also a small reference in the Election Day episode towards the end of the season where he said Cam had a hanging Chad incident.
Oh, yes.
I wrote it down. Yeah, Election Day on episode 19. He said Cam had a dimpled Chad incident situation. And like they show it, and it's like just an attractive guy attending the polls that has the name Chad or whatever. But like it's the reference to the Bush v. Gore 2000 election. Listeners that aren't old enough to remember it. That was the huge scandal is the Chads. And you had to, this is before digital voting when you had to poke the little fucking thing through the little card
Mhm.
and like puncture the little hole to show who you voted for. There was a huge scandal in 2000. Many people probably remember it, but like Zoomers probably don't. And I was just thinking, oh, so this is where we're getting straight up references to very recent political events. Hillary bumper sticker, and this is not the 2016 Hillary they're talking about. This was in 2011, 2012. So the 2008 Hillary when she was running against Obama in the primaries.
Mhm.
But yeah, so that's starting where I just thought, oh, these kind of political references are creeping in. And okay, the hanging Chad one isn't as bad because that was like a huge historical event 20 years before or 10 years before this, show was going to air.
Mhm.
But I feel like the Hillary bumper sticker, that's a very specific reference to 2011, 2012 era, uh, where politics are just starting to come into it. So again, going with the thesis, kind of it's subtle. Again, it's so well done, so
And
well written. It's very subtle. It's not like hitting you over the head with it yet, but yeah.
also the election day episode, they don't introduce Walt. I think they introduced Walt earlier, but he does. Phil's goal is he has to pick up a bunch of old people and drive them to the polls to vote for Claire. And
Yeah.
he only ends up picking up Walt because and Walt is what's that actor's name?
Yeah, he's great too.
He's a famous actor. Did like was in all the early P.T. Anderson movies.
And I think
Um,
he wasn't he in a sitcom in the 90s? Didn't he
Probably.
play, was it Boy Meets World or something where he played like a grandfather? He wasn't like Mr. Haney in Boy Meets World. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I don't
remember
know.
seeing him when he was a little bit, maybe 20 years younger or something, still an old man, playing a
Philip Baker
grandfather.
Hall. Philip Baker Hall. That's his name.
He got a very distinct voice, his
Yeah.
mannerisms, just very work. Yeah.
Yeah. So Phil has to pick him up, and he ends up forgetting his medication, and it turns into a whole thing. But when he gets to the polls, he finds out that he's supposed to vote for Claire because she, is going to get that stop sign installed on the corner, and he's like, "Wait, that's near my house. I don't want that."
Yeah.
Like he's all damn government interfering with the, yeah,
He's like, you and your
yeah,
alcoholic wife? Like,
yeah,
he's like,
yeah,
it's all right. My wife was an alcoholic too. And he like gets up to vote for her or something. He's like, I
yeah.
don't like it, but I'll do it because Phil gets like has to like run around and do all these errands with him because he like runs out of oxygen and he needs his glasses and like he needs some food to take his medicine or whatever. And Phil spends the whole day with just getting this one guy to vote who's their neighbor, like
Yeah.
their like elderly neighbor.
Um, yeah, that's yeah. So it's like they do, bring in that like, oh, this is like a typical like, boomer conservative
Right.
guy, fought in the war type
Yes, a
conservative.
great war veteran. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure, man.
Yeah.
And oh, dude, going off of Walt, since we brought him up with that, I mean, I was thinking even like, dude, like a heavy episode towards the end there when Walt dies,
Oh yeah.
and they make it funny, but I was just like, yeah, man, I was, and again, I'm not like super up on sitcoms and all of that. I know of some of them, but I was just thinking, when's the last time a sitcom? I remember there would always be, Home Improvement, all these kind of things that I grew up watching, the big sitcoms.
Hmm.
There would occasionally be. once the series got going and it was a huge hit, there would be maybe like one episode per season where it was like dead serious, like a child getting cancer or like somebody close to the family dying, just like a heavy
Mhm.
thing that has to be dealt with. And they still make it funny, it's a sitcom, right? But like, I don't know, I was just thinking, I was like, man, yeah, this is another kind of those classic last American sitcom tropes where we're gonna deal with heavy things like the old man next door dying,
Yeah.
like that's like I'm just thinking like, yeah, what other kind of sitcoms are you seeing that on today, maybe and
Mhm.
it's kind of a trope, but I mean, I don't know, maybe it is, maybe some listeners out there and have seen it
I mean, I
in
don't know
current
what
day.
sitcoms are like on network television anymore. Like uh,
Yeah.
Shifting Gears with Tim Allen, like that's the only one I can honestly think of. Since they canceled the Connors or whatever, there's no more there's no more sitcoms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially not this way. Yeah, like the Abbott Elementaries that we talked about,
Oh
things
yeah.
like
Okay.
that. But they're not as big, they're not as beloved. I mean, and I get it, Abbott Elementary is a huge popular show, gets nominated for Emmys. It still is not as big just because it can't be because the culture shifted so much.
Dude, no one
You
watches
know.
that except teachers. Like all my
Yeah.
coworkers watch that. Every teacher I know watches that. And it's like, okay, like I guess that's how they get viewers. If you get every teacher in the country to watch you, that's probably the biggest sitcom. Yeah, there is. Like there's no other sitcom that has an audience that size because no one watches these anymore. It's like, I don't know, maybe it's because no one makes them. I don't know what came first, but
Yeah, it is a chicken and an egg. Yeah,
Mhm.
where people don't watch it not because it's not as good, although maybe, right? It's because just the way we consume TV now is so different. People don't watch those prime time sitcoms anymore. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's crazy. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Again, listeners that watch more sitcoms than me and Eric, let us know. But dude, and then I'm like, yeah, Kevin Hart guest starring, Josh Gad
Oh,
guest
yeah.
starring,
Hmm.
uh, Kevin Hart, and this was the time. Kind of Kevin Hart plays their neighbor who's like an orthopedic surgeon. So
Yeah.
that kind of shows you what kind of neighborhood they live in, right? A nice one. Uh, but this was the time when it started too, where like every black character that was like introduced on a show had to be like a surgeon or a doctor or a lawyer or something,
Yeah.
to break this like the stereotype breaking again very subtly. And Kevin Hart's funny, he plays it great. Doesn't even matter when it's, I'm just saying, it's just a subtle thing. This is when it was kind of starting in sitcoms here, where like, yeah, you can introduce a black character without giving them like a serious elite profession.
Hmm.
That was just again very lighthearted. It's not hitting you over the head with it because this was 2011, 2012. Most of the episodes written in 2011, I imagine, and it was just subtly starting with those little things at first. And
Hmm.
there's even like reference to it, like the jokes you could make, where like I think at the very end of that episode, Phil and Kevin Hart are doing a confessional together on the couch, and Phil's like really excited to have a black friend.
Hmm.
And Phil's like, "Oh yeah, my black friend, like give me cool points." And like Kevin Hart's like cringing, It's just
Yeah.
like funny, good dynamic. Yeah, it works out great. Funny little bit. But again, it says the quiet part out loud right in that time because you could still say that. Be like, "Oh yeah, it's like having a black friend gives you cool cred or whatever, street cred, right?"
Yeah.
Uh, that's funny too because there are always those bits with like Phil, like being people think Phil is racist because he like say something goofy. Was it in the early seasons when he had that shirt because they had like the family games and he was on the white team and it said if you
Yeah.
ain't white you ain't right and they had like a black cab driver
Yeah.
and
I
he's like
forget.
throwing the luggage he's like pissed and then he's just like and for you my good sir he's like trying to tip him and the guy just like spits on it or whatever like and he's like what was that all about and he like looks at his shirt it says if you ain't white you ain't right or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, great little bits like that. Dude, Josh Gad coming in to guest star.
Yeah.
And
As
he's
the
not even
former
that
neighbor.
huge. Like he's not even that big of an actor, but dude, Josh Gad just won the fucking lottery as far as like fat ugly actors go, like comedy actors.
Oh yeah, he's got that Frozen money.
Dude, I think yeah,
Yeah.
he has that
That's what.
on a dumb chance, dude. Like he got cast as that fucking snowman to voice that snowman in Frozen. So he got like three movies out of that, and then they just started using him in everything. Like they used him in like the Beauty and the Beast live action, and Disney just started like using him for everything.
Yeah, well, he had like two, he was in two sitcoms, like one where he played like the president's son or something, or a governor's son, something like that. And then there was another one, oh, yeah, I forget who he started it with. It was on FX and it was about like, I want to say comedy writers or something like that. The other person that was in it was like, I don't know, so like someone really famous. I don't know. I'll get back to you on that. But he had a moment there
Yeah,
where like maybe 3 or 4 years wasn't very long, but where like he was almost a household, like people, he was everywhere, and
and
then
he was
suddenly
doing
just like
movies.
nothing. Yeah,
Yeah, I remember he was in that Vince Vaughn, Owen Wilson one where they work at Google or whatever.
oh yeah, yeah,
He would just play like a nerd or like something in it.
yeah. He wasn't really ever starring, but he was always like kind of a bigger side character. You know,
Yeah,
he's seen tons of movies. Just
because it's
more
hard for
modern
a guy
ones.
that looks like that to be a leading man. Yeah, he's always like a sidekick or something, which is what he is in the Disney stuff. But like, yeah, boy, whew, that guy won the fucking lottery when it like doesn't ever has to work again if he doesn't want to.
Oh yeah, no, I mean I mean, hey, great. That's the goal. But yeah, he got lucky with Frozen. Yeah.
That and I think that's the episode where Phil it comes out that Phil's like a masseuse as well.
Mhm.
Because Jay hurts his back or something. It might be the episode after
That
that.
was that was such a weird one for me because like I do buy into like Phil as like this magician,
Right.
background. And, he was a cheerleader and into gymnastics. Okay, that all fits. And then just suddenly out of nowhere, they bring up, oh, yeah, he went to like masseuse school and like almost became a professional masseuse. And then he's in there and he's set up with these candles and everything. It's like he's never mentioned this before. And Phil
Yeah.
mentions all of the weird shit he's into, like magic and tightrope,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
weird electronics inventions, his gadgets that he creates. But I just thought it was, even though like I guess it worked for an episode, it just kind of like they never even really mention it again in the series, like that he had this massage background. I don't think so. I
Yeah.
didn't.
I think you're right. I don't remember it being mentioned again either. But dude, Phil has so many great lines when they just throw something like that in there. Where he's just like he's like, oh yeah. He's like, I was gonna be a professional masseuse until I heard the siren call of residential real estate. He's just
Yeah.
like telling everybody that shit. Also, that was one of my favorite Phil lines when because Jay hurts his back and Phil has to like massage it out of him or something. And of
Mhm.
course, Jay doesn't want to do it. So he like comes into the room, yeah, and Phil's standing there in like yoga pants with like all these candles, and he just like covered, he's like, okay, now just disrobe and put the towel over your buttocks. And he like turns around and then they cut the camera off. Dude, it's so great.
And that's where we get one of those classic misunderstandings where like Jay is like he's really into the massage and he accidentally says I love you, and and then you just hear Phil be like, "Oh my God, Jay, I got to step outside. This is huge." And we think it's because, Jay said, I love you. And he's like getting all emotional. But it turns out they flash back and you see it from a different perspective. And like he still got this phone call about a new job and he didn't even hear Jay say, I love you. And like Jay's all worried, that
Yeah.
now Phil is going to be like all like buddy buddy with him because he opened up to him or something. As a great like misunderstanding switcheroo there that they do.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fantastic. Yeah. Always
Oh,
good. Classic sitcom.
the Josh Gad show was called The Comedians, and it was him and Bill Crystal. It was developed by Larry Charles for
Damn.
Cheers. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, they were really putting a lot behind Josh Gad when he was, you know, that short time he was big.
Where they had that song in Frozen. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he was in the Book of Mormon on Broadway too. That's also
Right.
Yeah.
Damn, dude. That all this is coming back to me now. Josh Gad having his kind of trajectory upward.
Yeah, just this fat, ugly Jewish guy. Like I
Yeah.
like no star appeal really, but
Yeah.
somehow he worked in certain roles. Like I don't know
And
until yeah.
and that man shake that he and Phil do is really good too. Yeah. He's like,
Mhm.
why hug when we can man shake? And they do like this really gay, like elaborate handshake with like dancing around each other and stuff. Like
Oh yeah, it's the gayest handshake.
it's like really
And
funny. Yeah.
Claire's looking at it and just like shaking her head.
Yeah, it's like the
Her
most
reactions
retarded.
to
It's
her
like so
reactions to Phil are great. She doesn't even have to say anything, just like her looks, like hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah, that is great. Great. And I guess that was that the Thanksgiving episode
Uh,
where Gad is back? Because that's I think that's the episode
um,
where Phil where the Josh Gad character's like, well, I'm a billionaire now because he like started a tech company or something. And he's like,
mhm.
you know what I did? I always asked myself, what would Phil Dunphy do? And Phil's like convinced that Claire's like held him back from being a billionaire with his ideas because the Josh Gad character always like asked himself what Phil Dunphy would do.
Yeah. Um, the I think we should talk about the Disneyland episode.
Oh, hell yeah.
That was like yeah, so there's like two travel episodes. There's a Dude Ranch and then there's Disneyland. Um, and this one, so uh, I guess like before they leave, like Jake reveals that he only stayed with Dee Dee, his ex-wife, because he wanted to stay with his kids.
Yeah.
And it's like it's one of those things that like if it was handled in the wrong way, it could have been very depressing. But it was just I think the way they handled it, it like not only was like kind of funny, but also sweet at the same time.
Yeah.
Like Jay's only interest in going to Disneyland is to see the Hall of Presidents, like those, like the talking animatronic presidents, like the yeah. And yeah, it's also Gloria refuses to not wear high heels at
Yeah.
Disneyland, and that's the funniest thing. Again, another Married with Children connection because Al was a shoe salesman, and Jay's advising Gloria like your feet are gonna hurt and hurt in those, and she just tries to hide it all along until Jay just buys her a pair of big fluffy slippers and
Yeah.
like takes her heels off, slips them on her feet, and she's like, "Oh my god, it's like walking on pillows."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
admits that he was right the whole time. Um, yeah, that was great.
Dude, and one of my favorite parts of that, there's a bunch because that's a great episode, but at the very end during the credits where they show Phil riding that roller coaster with Luke and
Yeah.
Phil's like can't handle like the roller coasters anymore in his 40s. Just like Ty Burrell's faces, like he would be like, yeah, and they like show him he's like all falling asleep, like passing out on this roller
Yeah.
coaster, and the whole
Well,
credit sequence is just that. It's like so fucking funny.
what was great is because he thought he couldn't handle him anymore just because he felt nauseous. But then at the end, he realized he was so glad he found out he had the flu, like he had a temperature. And he's like, "Oh, I wasn't. It's not the roller coasters. It's the flu. This is great."
Especially because, like, dude, like the Disney roller coasters, they are mild, bro. Like,
Oh
compared
yeah.
to, there's none of that, like, yeah, 0 to 60 stuff at Disney World, Disneyland. It's still fun, but they're not gonna, like, give you whiplash. Yeah.
Like I'm
Like, they're
I'm
like,
not a roller coaster person. Like I don't like going upside down or any. It's not
yeah,
but like I'm not a Six Flags roller coaster person. But yeah,
me
Disneyland
neither.
I can go on all those and they're fine. It's just like it's a Space Mountain. Yeah, it's nothing.
Yeah.
Um,
And they're
so
designed that way on purpose. Like, Disney is like, yeah, we're not like this, like, thrill you with, like, insane G-force. We're gonna thrill you with, like, the immersion into the world, into the fantasy world. So like Disney like makes that a point of pride. It's very telling. I've never actually been to Disneyland. I've been to Disney World a few times because I'm an East Coast guy.
yeah,
So that was where we would go on the East Coast there. So, but I mean, same type of thing, same type of rides. I guess Disney World's way bigger, but yeah, dude, the child safety tether. like Cam putting the leash on Lily at the Disney World is so fucking good, dude. It's such a great bit, and it's so good for
Yeah.
around that time too.
Yeah.
Like it's hilarious on its own, and then they have that scene where like there's another mother with like two kids on child safety tethers, and they like get tangled up like dog leashes, you know?
Yeah. And they start like running around each other like
Yeah.
dogs do when they're on
She's like, oh,
leashes.
she's fine. She's a biter, but she's not aggressive. Like they're like talking like it's
Yeah.
dogs, you know? Like, yeah. And she's like, oh,
Yeah.
oh, these two little boys. Like, yeah, it's just such a great bit, dude.
That
So
was it.
great.
That was that time where like, yeah, you would see occasionally in the wild one or two kids on leashes. You're like, it was a yeah, big debate in parenting whether you should keep your kid on a leash. Uh,
The child safety tether, yeah. Yeah, dude. And that is, I mean, and you talk about the Jay storyline for that, where he tells this really kind of depressing story about how when he realizes his marriage is over, and it was when he took Mitch and Claire to like Disneyland by himself when they were supposed to go as a family, like, 30 years earlier or something.
mhm.
And yeah, like you said, he kind of gives this thing where he sees Abraham Lincoln's animatronic speech and it like makes him change his mind. So yeah, it's funny because it's Abraham Lincoln's speech, but it's also, again, like this was a wholehearted like family love. Like the end of these episodes is what makes a great sitcom tick like this.
Mhm.
And we've mentioned it before on the previous episodes, but still, like this is pro family, loving your family, loving them despite like the flaws, kind of thing. And yeah, it's just
Mhm.
another one of those where it just is so beautifully, so artfully, skillfully done that you get comedy, you get a little tender-hearted, and you also get like this well-meaning, like beautiful kind of message about family, all in this kind of Jay doing these confessionals, telling the story throughout the episode about like his first marriage ending, basically. Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's just like so well done. Yeah. Just that I think that's something that the reason I always bring it up, and I've brought it up all three episodes so far and will continue to, is because it's just something that I think is missing in these sitcoms, you know?
Yeah.
Like how many of these sitcoms are about a family in this way? I guess like I always just I always default to the fucking animated ones on like Netflix by comedians or something, you know?
Mhm.
Like those are just seem like the ones that are only ones that are occupied with families anymore, like like a five-person family or whatever.
Yeah.
Where it used to be the formula that there was always like a family involved in the sitcom in some way.
Mhm. No, and like, yeah, that's like it has a uniquely kind of conservative message at the end where it's like, I think now people would be criticizing Jay, being like, yeah, but you put your kids through this unhappy, you were unhappy with your wife and you put your kids through this unhappy marriage that you had with your wife or whatever. And or you made her unhappy and wasted her time. And it's like, he's like, no, my kids were more important. I wanted my
Right.
kids to have both their parents, didn't matter what I had to put up with. And it's contrasted with what he says about his wife in the beginning. He was like, yeah, like in one of the interviews, he's like, yeah, Claire was afraid that she'd see the Wicked Witch. I was afraid I'd married her. And it's like, so yeah, he really like he did not like his wife at the time, but he was willing to put up with it because he wanted to have his kids to have both parents, until they grew up. And at the end, he's being interviewed and he's saying all that, and then you hear Gloria in the background going, "Jay, do you want to get in the jacuzzi with me?" And he's like, "And life rewarded me." And it's just like, oh yeah, he ended up with like the hottest wife imaginable because he actually did like the moral and right thing. And I like I mean, even back then, a very conservative message for you know, for a Hollywood sitcom.
It's interesting too because I feel like it's only considered conservative in today's day and age.
Oh
Like
yeah,
at the time, nobody would have thought anything of it. It would just been like an
no,
American values thing or something,
yeah,
but
yeah,
like bipartisan. But now it would be considered some kind of conservative coded thing when it really is just. I'm thinking even we were just talking about that massage episode. Like
hmm
at the end of that, right? Like Jay kind of gives Phil that advice, where Phil's nervous about this, taking a risk to get a new job, like to start a new job where, yeah, you might fail at this. And then if it puts the family in jeopardy and Jay gives him that advice, like it is this kind of, it's so wholesome. There's like a
Mhm.
wholesomeness embedded in this that really charms you when you're watching it, and it allows you to go off in the kind of maybe even the more raunchy areas and then also the more tender area. Like it kind of anchors it with this wholesomeness, family first kind of message. Uh,
Mhm.
which again used to be so common. It used to just be like, oh, well, family's more important than anything else, right? Like that was just something people would say, and it was reflected in like, yeah, our sitcoms and our culture and our arts and things like that. And now it's just kind of like you got to cut off your family if they don't
Yeah,
have the right politics, blah blah blah.
especially with Cam and Mitchell, them
Yeah,
adopting a boy. Like there's several episodes where they mention, or some of the plot revolves around them like wanting to do more male masculine things. Like the Dude Ranch is one, but there's a few others. It's because they know they want to be prepared for raising a boy. They don't want to just like have like they're feminine, right? They're both feminine,
right,
and yeah, they don't know too many guy things. Like Cameron worked on a ranch, when he was younger though, but still like now he's not very masculine. So they're really trying to have that side. Whereas, nowadays that would be like, like you don't have to do that. You can just, they don't need to have a feminine and masculine influence, right?
right,
Back then, that was still acknowledged as like, yeah, like every child needs like a masculine and a feminine influence. Like it's,
right.
um,
And even that, like at the end of those episodes, right? Like there's like a wholesomeness where like, Mitch and Cam were worried about nothing, like they're worried about this thing that like they already had both in them because they're both, like they already had both of those.
mhm.
Like that always
Yeah,
ends on this kind of positive, like, oh, you guys were worried about nothing, because you don't need to worry, yeah, you already have it in you. Which, yeah, like, it's funny because it's a sitcom where like, yeah, Mitch blows up that birdhouse with Luke and then he's like excited and like
mhm.
invigorated. He's like really into it. He's like, let's blow up something else, like it's like, yeah, it was already in you, that's like the message of the episode. Don't worry, because it's already in you. Your kid's gonna be fine.
Yeah, because like every boy likes blowing stuff up. It doesn't matter if you're
Yeah,
gay or straight, dude. Every boy loves blowing shit up.
that's the least of it. Yeah, I used to
That's
do
what he
some
learned.
shit.
He's like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, do that. Oh yeah, he really loved it.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I used to set shit on fire all the time.
Yeah, every kid loves.
From like the
Yeah.
ages of like 10 to 13, or like, yeah, make sure your son doesn't kill himself.
Yeah.
Not like because he wants to like suicide or anything, just because he's doing a lot of dumb shit with
Yeah.
fire and explosives, M80s or whatever.
Mhm.
Dude, and the Express Christmas episode, one of
Oh
my
yeah.
favorite, like in the whole series, mainly because of Phil and Manny, frankly.
Mhm.
And Gloria, dude. Gloria has some great one-liners, and it's still playing up that like kind of like, oh, she's from Colombia thing.
Yeah.
Like when they run over the Christmas tree, and then Luke's in the car with her, and he's like, "What was that?" And she like turns his head. She's like, "Never look back," and they just like keep going straight, like, like yeah, like
Yeah.
she's like, "Never look back."
Yeah. Just like a very Colombian
Yeah,
narcos gangster.
yeah, exactly. Like there are things you have to do. Never look back. Like,
Mhm.
but really, my favorite part of that whole thing is Phil getting tased.
Oh
Uh,
yes, when he's trying to buy the baseball card for Jay, the Joe
Yeah, from like
DiMaggio baseball
Facebook
card.
Marketplace, mint condition baseball card, and
Yeah.
Manny's worried about being kidnapped because it's like that's like the running thing where it starts. Oh, it's
Yeah, so he
so
has to get he has to get a turkey, I think, from the store, and it's a butterball.
good.
And I guess Phil didn't have enough money for the card.
The guy
Uh,
like tries to haggle him. He like raises the price. He's like 250s.
yeah.
I only got 200. He's like, okay, but I'm taking the butterball. He's like,
Mhm.
and like Manny thinks he's calling him a butterball because he is. What we
Yeah.
would call like little chubby kids butterballs back in the day. And like he's like, "Oh my God, I'm getting mom's little friend or whatever." He like pulls Gloria's taser out of the glove box
Yeah.
and like
And he's
tases Phil.
teasing Phil, yeah.
He's
Who
like,
is
"No,
just like
Manny, this isn't an emergency." And then he gets tased. He's like, "Now it is." He's like laying on the ground shaking.
and he's still twitching throughout the entire episode, which is hilarious.
And then he
He
bends that card because he's like mint condition, and he like has a twitch and it like bends it in half. And then he
Yeah,
keeps like crushing it up to him because he's like shaking from the taser. It's
and
so good.
I love when they get back, like Claire's waiting for the turkey, and Phil and Manny come in, and she's like, "Oh, good, here's the butterball," and Manny's like, "I'm getting really sick of this." It's just
Yeah.
like he keeps like thinking that butterball means him.
But yeah, dude, Phil getting tased is so great.
One thing I just didn't understand though is so it's just they say it's December 16th. And it just seems like they're like, we can't find a Christmas tree anywhere. Or
Yeah, yeah.
like we can't find any turkey. It's like there's it's after things. There should be turkey. Like
Yeah,
it's
like
still the Christmas season.
overflowing. Yeah.
I understand how they couldn't find all this stuff available and they had to like try so hard. I don't it's like it's 9 days till Christmas. Like you should have bought some gifts already. Like you shouldn't have to rush around like, buying gifts for everyone. Like I don't know. That's the only thing that I was like they should have made it like December 1st or so. I don't know. Like
Yeah.
I don't because 9 days till Christmas. Like people have mostly, normal people have done most of their shopping by then.
That you can get like yeah, you can buy the non-perishables and stuff like potatoes and canned stuff that you need and all until you need like the fresh. Even the turkeys, man, that you can put that thing in the freezer. Yeah, if you get like a
Yeah.
because it's
Like
such a hassle otherwise. My mom used to like order them from like a local like farm where I grew up. And dude, just like I would go with her to like get it because it'd be like a huge like 25, 30 pound turkey, she'd have me like carry it and stuff.
mhm,
But like I remember, yeah, being like a young teenager, like 13, dude, just waiting in line that week of because so many people had put their turkey orders in. It
mhm.
was just it's just always chaos, like a zoo. So like yeah, if you can do anything but yeah, dude, I mean, you mean like 9 days before Christmas, like the store shelves would be overflowing with products and groceries and
Yeah. Like
wrapping paper, everything you need, like Christmas trees on every abandoned parking lot has like a Christmas tree lot set up, like
yeah, I mean, even Californians are already celebrating Christmas. It's like I know
right.
it's yeah, and they keep mentioning like, oh yeah, but it's like 85 degrees outside.
Yeah, and Cam has that
Like it's
sweater that's
winter.
making him sweat. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's like, it's my Christmas sweater. And he's like sweating at his armpits. And he's like, yeah.
but yeah, at least they do they because we mentioned the last few times like when they do like themed Hollywood, I'm sorry, not Hollywood, Christmas themed episodes, Thanksgiving themed
Yeah, all
episodes.
the holiday classics. Yeah. And
Did we
I
get a
thought,
Halloween one?
I don't know if we got a Halloween one this season.
It was
I could have
I think
not.
it was last
Yeah.
season. Yeah.
Because they usually make a huge deal of the Halloween one, just like the Valentine's Day. There was no Valentine's Day this season, too, was there?
Yeah, no, there wasn't.
Yeah, so Clive Bigsby and Juliana didn't come out. Which I
But
kind of like too, because yeah, that if you're stuck doing it all the time, you want to kind of change it up a little bit for the writers and all that.
yeah.
But yeah, man, that's always classic. So like we've talked about this before, listeners. So you go back and listen to those first episodes where like, yeah, the holiday episodes are so important to sitcoms. They endear you to the characters and things.
Hmm.
But I just love that Express Christmas one because I thought it was kind of an original take on like the Christmas time sitcom thing,
Hmm.
where they're trying to do this express thing really quickly and it doesn't work out, right?
Yeah.
uh
Um,
that's fine because it kind of just freshens up a little bit and then like of course that taser bit, I mean I could just for that dude Phil getting tasered and crushing that Joe DiMaggio mint condition baseball card, dude. And then he gives Jay those dog antlers and it was like the best gift he ever gave Jay
yeah.
for like the dog.
Because of the dog, yeah.
Yeah.
Jay's affection towards the dog is cute. And the dog is pretty cute too. So it's like um there's oh god, there's one episode that was great. Again, another great Manny uh moment was when there's this guy Griffin in Manny's school who's like really popular on the football
Yeah.
team, and he befriends Manny, and Jay thinks that Griffin's there because he like uh,
Thinks Jay
wants
is
to.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, he thinks Jay is cool, and like that. But then when he meets Gloria, it's like clear that he's only there because of how hot Gloria is. And then so they tell all this to Manny, like Jay's like he only wants to visit because of your mom. And so like Manny wants to lean into it. He's like, Mom, put on a different top, you know, show him off. And like Gloria's kind of complaining about it. Like, and
Yeah.
Manny just says, "Oh, come on, get over it, Mom."
Yeah. They're
Like,
like a pool party, invite everybody over for a pool party at Griffin's house, and then Jay's like, it's 50 degrees outside.
yeah.
And he's like, I think this guy might only like you for your mom. And he's like, oh, that's great, because I only hanging out with him because I like his sister. Like,
Yeah.
and then he's just like, Mom, pool party, dress accordingly, and like walks away, like
He's
telling her to
just
put her
pimping
tits
out his
out.
mom.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah, dude. That's great. And the political Claire running for office. Again, that's kind of the kind of classic sitcom trope.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. There's always kind of like yeah, running for city council or something like that, getting politically involved. Yeah, I remember um that like Al did that same thing on Married with Children. Like I think it happened in Home Improvement, like all the
Yeah.
shows of the era.
Where it's always just like it's usually the woman too, or
Mhm.
it's, I'm gonna do something about it,
Yeah.
like, and like run for office. Yeah. Yeah, that's
Uh,
great, dude. I think we should bring this up. Might be the worst Fizbo the Clown episode in the entire
okay.
series.
Yes. I was gonna say again another big guest star. Is it Bobby Cannavale?
Yeah, something Italian shit.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, who is kind of in a lot of bigger like supporting roles in movies and
Isn't he
TV shows.
married to like Rose Bryn or something?
He might be. But yeah, the Fizbo, the clown. Yeah, again, we don't get a Thanksgiving or a Halloween episode, but again, they're like, we really need a Fizbo episode, which, as the listeners know, my least favorite episode of every season is probably just going to be the Fizbo episode.
Yeah.
Um,
It's just
but
rough,
yeah.
dude. And honestly, I think that guy, the guy, the big thing I remember him from is Vinyl in like, you remember that show on HBO?
Oh yeah, about yeah,
The
yes.
Scorsese produced about like the record companies in the 60s, 70s or something.
Yeah, he
Uh,
is married to Rose Byrne. Yeah.
yeah, dude, she is so hot. She's one of
Yeah.
my top, like, oh my God, every time I see her, I'm like, wow, how's that woman real? Uh,
Yeah.
but she's married to that guy, dude. And my big problem with it too was not just like how dumb it is, but also like I think it's a misuse of that actor that uh the guy who plays Lewis or whatever that was
Oh,
yeah, Bobby
yeah.
Kev, yeah,
Yeah.
just
Bobby Cannavale. Yeah.
very
Does a
miscast. It just he doesn't work as like a clown.
No, he's supposed to be because I don't know, it didn't really work because they tried to make him like a guy who is like, a drug addict or a
Yeah.
former drug addict, a current alcoholic or something, doesn't have his life together. So I think that's why they cast him because it's like he's got that kind of New York tough guy thing. But
Yeah.
like that guy would never have gotten along with Cam. So it's hard to believe that like any sort of friendship existed where they were this big like clown duo
Yeah.
together.
That really drove me the wrong. And I was just like, man, I wish I was like wanting to fast forward parts of that episode.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the
Just
Fizbo episodes are always just wow. Gotta get through them.
Cam, I mean, nothing makes Cam look fatter than when he's like in full clown makeup
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
Like obviously he's always fat and stuff, that's part of the character, but like when he wears the full clown getup, he just looks so obese that it's like, oh my God. And he's always like the only like most obese person in like the group of clowns.
yeah.
That's right. They go really serious with it, right? There's like a clown funeral and stuff,
Mhm.
and they're like doing clown gags and
And it's always gags like, like, oh, how are you going to get there? Like, and he's talking to like 12 of his friends, and they're like, oh, we're all going to get in the car. And like, they show a tiny, like, Volkswagen Bug, and it's like,
yeah, like a
you're all going
Fiat
to
or
fit in that.
something.
And then it's like, oh, yeah, you're clowns. So you all fit in the freaking car. And it's like, just jokes like that. And just like, like,
Yeah.
clown humor. I don't know.
Me
Yeah,
person,
it's
dude. I mean,
not.
did you when you were a kid even did you like clowns? Like,
No, I wasn't scared of them, but I didn't like them.
right.
I, you know.
Same. Yeah, same. It was just dumb. Like I always hated it. Like I remember being at the circus and like when the clowns came out or something. I mean,
Yeah, I
dude,
think,
you can
well,
barely even go to circuses now because of all the animal cruelty shit, so you don't even have like elephant shows anymore.
yeah, are they even there?
Yeah, I don't think so,
Right.
man. I think it's just like trapeze and stuff. Like I don't think they do any of the animal stuff anymore, and now it's just like clowns and like trapeze artists and stuff.
Because I remember going to like the Barnum and Bailey
Yeah,
circus once. My mom took me,
right.
and I was
When they
thrilled.
still toured everywhere. Yeah,
Yeah, and it was just like, I mean, it was like kind of like how they showed in like the old movies. Like you just walk around and there's like, you can see some of the animals outside before the show, and then when the show starts,
right.
like yeah, trapeze artists and the whole fire breathing and stuff like that. Um, yeah, yeah, you can't see that anymore, but I loved it. I loved that circus.
Yeah, they've taken the kind of animal acts out of it for the most part, probably because it's one, I mean, I'm sure it's expensive to like house all those animals and stuff and all that. I remember there's like great stories from I think Barnum and Bailey uh uh I think they would winter in like some rural place in Wisconsin.
Hmm.
So there's like great stories where like elephants are just like walking down the street in like this like rural town in Wisconsin in the wintertime because they had to like exercise the elephants, and stuff, and like they would take them to like some pond to drink and stuff, and it was back in the day, but they don't do that anymore because of like all the animal cruelty stuff and all that. But yeah, man, I was just thinking, yeah, like I never liked fucking clowns, and I never liked it because I never liked that dumbass squirt seltzer in your face, like,
Oh yeah,
oh, we're
yeah,
gonna fall down, blah blah blah. Like, yeah, it's for like 3 year olds, dude.
the
That's your
water in the
last, yeah, yeah, the flower, the
but
boutonniere with like a squirter or something.
mhm.
I just hate it. I hate the makeup. I've never been somebody that likes like things on my face.
Yeah, it's like mines. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like they're pretty, clowns are like, I remember Bozo the Clown, always had that show like on public access or whatever, PBS. I don't know, but I would always, flip past it watching TV as a kid and be like, who is this for? Like, I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah, absolutely.
Um,
Fuck the clowns. Yeah, I guess
yeah,
we're gonna have 11 more seasons of clowns, but
yeah. I think they do an episode every season. And next
yeah,
season, I forget, but I'll bet it's in there. I'll bet.
yeah,
Um, we should let's talk about Haley.
yeah. Let's go.
So I mean, the first episode was like, and I thought again something very delicate that they handled very well and made it funny was when Phil finds out that Haley isn't a virgin.
Right, with that little
Um,
dot with those dolls. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
um,
great.
and he's very shocked at first, and but you know, in the interview. He's always like, I'm the cool dad, like I'm supposed to be cool about this, but I'm really not cool about this.
Yeah,
Um, and yeah, eventually he just tells her, that he trusts her. It ends very well, but it's all like it's packaged around that they're taking a trip to the was it like the American Doll? It's they don't
yeah. It's
call
like
it
a
that, but it's
variation of that. Yeah, like the
yeah,
American Girl doll or whatever.
yeah,
Uh,
and yeah, Haley wants to buy one or something
very expensive dolls with
too. Yeah,
Lily had one and it's broken, but they have like some hospital service or whatever.
yeah.
And the whole like conversation between Haley and Phil is like proxied through like the conversation about the doll getting like medical treatment. But
Hmm.
it's about, yeah, like Haley being like 17, and like not being a virgin anymore, and like Phil finding out, like her father finding out and like not knowing how to react, but is like heartbroken. And yeah, dude,
Which has got to
that
be
is
rough.
great.
I don't know. I get,
Yeah, yeah.
it's like a little, but also at the same time, you can't. But
Right.
of
It's like
course,
the
it's gonna happen.
same,
Yeah.
it's similar to that situation, I think, where they try to make, how Jay is uncomfortable with like his son being gay, not like to the point where he's like, "Oh my God, this is a ridiculous," but just there's a little bit of like, "Oh my God, like my son gets fucked in the ass," like kind of like you just have to kind of deal with that, you kind of I guess it's a sign of like, yeah, they're not kids anymore.
Yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
like, yeah, seeing that like, oh my God, my daughter's like a real adult that has sex and is like kind of like they make it more about that, yeah, than like Phil's like, how dare you, kind of thing. He's just kind of like, oh my God, my little girl is like growing up.
Yeah, which is part of, I think about, she's trying to get into college.
Yeah, she's like a senior in high
And
school. Yeah.
yeah, and it's not really going anywhere. She applies to a bunch of schools.
Yeah.
She may not, she doesn't get into any of them except she gets like waitlisted for one eventually. But she kind of has this, she develops into a like the Kelly Bundy side of her personality is brought out more in this season,
Yeah.
where it's just like she's just even more obviously stupid. Like it should casual things like in interviews, she'll be like, my friend just got accepted. My friend just got into college and is moving back east to Oregon. And
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
you just kind of stuff like that doesn't uh, isn't in on certain jokes or references. Like they just go over her head. It happens a lot more in this season.
Yeah. And
I don't
she's
know.
treated more like, and granted, we said this already with like first season because she's the oldest child cast, and I think like you said, the actress is like was 20 when she was cast or whatever.
Mhm.
Um, she is treated more like she gets more storylines and stuff than the other children because she's kind of treated like one of the adult cast members. And I get there's like practicality to that too, because if you're writing teenage scenes, well, obviously the 17-year-old can have more plot lines and things. So yeah, having sex, sneaking around with boyfriends, whatever, trying to go to a party instead of some family event.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think the point you make is great. Where again, just speaks to these writers and like the love of sitcom writing and stuff. Where like they handle that so well, and it's funny and it's charming, but it's also endearing and wholesome.
Mhm.
And then by the end of the episode, like you Phil accepts it, and then like and Haley is like grateful for that and says, yeah, I do. But my dad is really cool, kind of, in the confessional, and it is kind of like a heartwarming, not tearing up or anything, but just that heartwarming thing coming back into it, dealing with a very real thing, in the 21st century there.
Yeah.
Uh,
And there's a point I think John episode 12 there's a small reference to like Haley sending pictures of her feet to this guy that they
yeah.
cast because he likes her feet. And like she's, there's small references in the show about her trying to show off her feet. And this was like, 2012. This is like way before OnlyFans and all the weird like foot fetish shit that you see on the internet, in the past like
Which
three
is
or
a
four
total
years.
psyop, by the way. Yeah. Foot
Oh yeah,
fetishes, yeah, total
it's
psyop. Yeah.
yeah.
Like I never
um,
understood it, dude. I never
yeah,
understood. People, I have a
yeah,
foot fetish. I'm
no
like,
doubt
really? You have a foot fetish?
it. Really?
You get turned
Yeah,
on by like calloused, nasty fucking feet, like stinky fucking. Shut up.
yeah.
You're
It's
just a
like
freak. Yeah.
you'd rather feel the foot than any other part of a woman's body.
Yeah.
You guys
Okay.
are gay.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly, dude. Tits and
that.
ass, dude. Tits and
Yeah.
ass is. I don't know what
So
anybody
yeah.
else is talking about. That's a psyop. It's not real. All these people pretending that they're like really into feet. It's so gross. Yeah. Uh,
But yeah.
Disgusting shit. There was an episode too with the mom wanting to follow you on Facebook episode.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Claire's trying to get her kids to follow her, and she's like, "Look, Adele follows me. Adele is friends with me." It could just because like all those celebrities are like they follow back anyone who follows them because it's Facebook nice or whatever.
It was like at the time it
Yeah.
was slightly different. It's just crazy. And again, this show is which is that it was in a unique position to capture the early years of social media and then the later years as well, just because it was on the air and like the popular sitcom at the time. But I just
Yeah.
thought, yeah, that was like I remember that being a thing. Like, yeah, and how like, oh, like your mom was like annoying because she wanted to be friends on Facebook.
Hmm.
And there was a shift. Maybe it was around now, because I remember there was a time where Facebook was like youthful, and this was the time when like parents and stuff were starting to get on Facebook and all, and it was becoming like the app on your phone and not like the website you go to.
Yeah.
Uh, and I just remember, yeah, there was a time being on Facebook at this time where like all my parents' friends and stuff were like on there and like would like request to follow you and stuff, like be friends or whatever. and then they would see what you're putting on there and they would like comment under it.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh, this is lame. It was like kind of the beginning of when Facebook started to be lame when like parents were using it.
Yeah. I mean, I never really, I was not on Facebook. I missed that, that era. Um,
It was like peaking like when I was in college. And I don't mean peaking by user base. I
yeah.
mean peaking by like, Instagram wasn't quite what it was still and or what it is today. And yeah, Twitter was still kind of nobody used Twitter. Nobody still uses Twitter. Still got like the smallest user base out of all of the
Yeah.
socials.
I mean, I was Friendster and then MySpace, and
Yeah.
then I just was like kind of once MySpace was like, kind of ended. I
Yeah,
just
which
didn't,
was fast, dude. It happened
yeah,
fast. Facebook
I,
eliminated that quick. Yeah.
I didn't do anything until like Twitter and Instagram, and like later on, like way after they had started, like
Like
So
I
yeah, I
remember,
missed
dude,
the Facebook
we
thing.
in high school we had assemblies about MySpace
Hmm.
because it was the beginning of this, and this was before even Modern Family was on the air because I graduated high school in like '08.
Okay.
So between '04 and '08 were my high school years, and that was it was just becoming a thing, but it was because parents were concerned because people were posting photos and things on them.
Hmm.
Comments, blah blah blah. There was mostly with girls. I think it was a bigger issue. And I went to an all boys school. I remember we had like a big assembly, and like the vice principal gave like a huge talk to all of us about like what you're putting online. Like how like we don't care what you put on your Facebook or your MySpace page, but also like try not to put anything on there that like is going to get you in trouble or like misrepresent yourself or the school or something.
Hmm.
It was still that era of like this new thing and yeah, like it was lame when your parents wanted to be on there too.
Yeah. No, I was always, I mean, I was in college um, when I was using it, and it was always like, I would, I would book like local
Right,
bands in the
right,
area. So it was easy to search for girls that liked certain local bands that like as their favorite. And then like I would, make sure like my top songs were like that band. Message
right,
that girl and be like, "Oh, you like this band? Oh, really? I would book them to this club. We get you a
right.
ticket, and then you have a date." So it was really easy to meet girls on,
MySpace era.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, all the mice. But yeah, now it's still operating, I think, but it's like more, it's like really, it's like only music heavy. Like
That's
it's,
what was great about it too, man. I had a guest on,
mhm.
Matt Wall, who's I think he's Gen X even. I think he might be. I don't want to give him too older than he is, but he was saying uh, when my how great MySpace was for music. He said that on that. Go listen to that episode, listeners. It's one of the early ones, and he was saying, and I did that too because I was in bands and stuff in high school at that time, and we were like doing that because you could put your like maybe top like 5 or 6 songs on the page.
Yeah,
Even if you're just like a local musician like we were and like playing local clubs, blah blah blah. And it just yeah, it was so good for musicians and you could just put it out there and people could find it, much easier than they can nowadays, really. It's just weird how that's worked. Like we had this thing that like worked for like local musicians and stuff, and then we just like eliminated it. But yeah,
yeah,
that's kind of the best thing was for like it was either if you were a girl like Tilla Tequila or a band. Those were basically what MySpace was best for.
yeah. No, it was like I liked how it was like music centric because it was just very. It's a lot easier to start a conversation with someone about like a band rather than like now it's like I don't know, you go on Twitter and it's like you have to fucking pledge allegiance to some sort of like set of thought rules.
Yeah, which we're
Everyone's
gonna get
like,
to as it comes up.
yeah.
Speaking, dude, that politics. Speaking of which, one thing that threw me off a little bit, that election day episode, Jay is voting in like a random garage.
Hmm.
Like, is that something that happens in California? Like, is that like a
No, it's already at a school. It's
Yeah,
always
that's what I was.
yeah.
I'm like,
I
is this like some leftover 1950s trope? Like, like voting in somebody's garage?
yeah, every time I voted in California and oh well. here I think I voted like it was like outside somewhere at like outside of the LVAC.
It's like one of
But
those big. Here they like to set up those tents, which is
tents,
something
yeah,
they
it was
don't
a
they
tent
they don't
thing
do
in the
that.
parking lot.
Yeah,
Yeah. But in
Louisiana they never
California,
did
there's always a
that.
school.
Yeah,
There's always a school in California, Northern and Southern California. Like,
usually like a government building or some type of municipal building. So yeah, a school or like a church basement. Like even like my parents, like we lived not in a rural area, but there
Mhm.
were housing laws where like you couldn't put a house on. You had to have like 3 acres for each house. You couldn't just put houses right on top of each other in that area. You still can't,
Hmm.
which is what makes it like a desirable area.
Yeah.
So a small part of the county. And we would go to like a local church down the road, and it would, never align because it's just small, not a lot of people living in this area. But
Mhm.
I just remember, yeah, it was like a local Catholic church that you just went into the basement of like the rectory area, not the actual church, but like the whatever the administrative building or whatever. And you would just vote there, never wait in line. And yeah, and out here in Nevada is a little more janky. I would just like pop up tents and stuff. You're really like, how is this
Yeah.
getting counted? How is this getting counted? Or like, but I just thought like Jay voting in this garage and like this woman's just like shoving the paper ballots into like a Rubbermaid box or something.
Yeah.
With like no lock or anything. I'm like, oh yeah. I
And
don't that threw me off a little bit, but yeah, I don't know.
yeah, that was weird. But also like that episode, he's voting in that garage and like I'm assuming, I don't know, it's the lady running the election, or maybe who owns that garage, that owns the house. Um,
Right.
turns out to be like a woman he slept with like years ago. And he, like, the story was, is he didn't want to stay with her, so he just left in the middle of the night and never called her, never spoke with her again. And yeah, and there's lots of good like puns, double entendres, wordplay that they do. Um, in that scene. But yeah, that's great. That's the episode Bryan Cranston directed, was the election day one.
Damn, dude,
Uh,
Cranston.
Kind of a reuniting of the Malcolm in the Middle, Stone Street.
Yeah.
Even though it was only a guest role, like yeah,
Cranston,
knew
dude.
each other.
Talk about another guy who just cleaned up, dude.
Yeah,
Just what he doesn't, I guess he's still doing a bunch of stuff all the time.
yeah, he still does stuff. He does movies and Broadway, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is crazy, dude. I mean, yeah, like that's so, yeah. And then he ended up just directing episodes. Like, yeah, that's
Mhm.
crazy. Cranston directing sitcoms now.
Yeah.
Uh, what else did we miss, dude? Uh, any anything we missed before we get to the finale with that great like soap opera spoof kind of?
Yeah, the telenovela. Let me
Yeah, yeah, the
see.
Spanish soap
Oh,
opera.
there was, see, episode 7. I just have written down Cam tries hitting on women.
Oh yes, yes, with Judd Apatow's wife or whatever.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Leslie
Leslie
Mann.
Mann.
Leslie
Yeah,
Mann is her
Leslie
name.
Mann. That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah. 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 Just to prove that he can hit on women. Yeah.
that's great.
Um, yeah, because he always like, there's this whole thing they do in a couple episodes. They bring it up, like, he claims that he broke a few women's hearts back in the day, before he came out as gay. Um,
And
so
he's convinced that she didn't know he was gay because he was like pretending to be straight. And
yeah,
she's like, I knew you were gay from the moment you started talking to me. And he's like, how? He's like, well, the way you walk, your mannerisms, your voice. Like she just starts
yeah.
listing off like all the things.
He just, his
Yeah.
face during that whole thing is like, okay, yeah, I get it. Like,
Yeah.
perfect,
Like your hand
perfect.
gestures, your dramatic hand gestures. Uh
Uh,
the gay sensibility or whatever.
yeah. And yeah, there's a great scene with Luke and Mitchell, and it's Luke is saying like, "Yeah, I'm gonna live in the attic." Like this is a whole thing where they want to get Luke to move into the attic. Um, and Mitchell's like, "Oh God, the attic, that'll just be so small and cramped." And Luke says, "Grandpa said he used to live in a closet,"
Yeah.
which was like again another great like, yeah,
Yeah.
great joke, like
Great
really
little riff.
clever.
Yeah.
It's-
One-liners, dude. Those
yeah,
one-liners in these sitcoms just
I
speaks to
mean,
how great the writing is. Yeah.
they're really all one-liners. It's like, I mean, it's just, someone says something and then the next person says the punchline. It like each scene builds off of the last one uh, perfectly. It's really well crafted.
Yeah, fantastic season of television. Dude, the finale for this one is great. Really
Yeah.
strong. And Gloria really shines in it. Which is crazy because yeah, I was noticing that I was thinking Gloria, not that she gets less time in this, but I don't know, almost like they were like running out of things for her to do,
Hmm.
besides just be like the hot second wife with
Yeah,
little
and it's sort of like
one-liners.
they don't want her to like get a job because that's Claire's thing.
Right.
So they needed something new, and also, yeah, I mean, there's a trade-off. You lose a baby, but you gain a baby,
Right.
and it was probably best that they play around with Gloria and Jay because Manny's getting older. Like they need something new. Whereas Cam and Mitchell, like Lily's growing up, it's going to be so many changes each season. She's going to be dealing with something new. Like they can work with that as the series goes. Um, but yeah, I'm glad this episode was perfect, well
Yeah.
crafted, great ending, great cliffhanger to the season. Yeah.
The Fire and Ice like Spanish soap opera or whatever
Mhm.
that Jay's really into too, but won't admit it. And then it becomes like a real life soap opera. They're like watching. There's like a preacher that's like sleeping with this woman secretly, and then there's like two babies' daddy. Like it just like starts getting where
Yeah.
like more and more
There's the
like
ranchero hand that comes in and
yeah. And
and
Gloria's
yeah.
like translating for all of them because they're all speaking Spanish, and it's just yeah, that just beautifully crafted, so funny, so good. I mean. Like I mean, dude, this is peak. This is peak. Seasons like 2 through 5, 6, like just everything just humming along, engine running on all cylinders, dude. Well-oiled
Mhm.
machine. Uh, very little to criticize. Yeah.
Yeah.
Besides like that Fizbo episode with
but
that
but
New
in
Yorker clown, that New York guy
yeah,
clown.
the New Yorker clown.
Hey, I'm walking here. That's one of my favorite bits from Rick and Morty too, where it's dumb as shit, but there's just that whenever they do like a New Yorker, they're like, "Oh, he's from New York," and he's like, "Hey, in New York, we got a saying, we're walking here." Like, and that's like all he does every time, like he comes on
Yeah.
screen, and it's just so fucking funny. Like, yeah, fuck New York. No, I love New York, great American
Yeah.
city. But yeah, dude, soap opera finale was great. Gloria comes in there again. Sofia Vergara is just still, I mean, yeah, the hottest woman on television again in season 3 here. Uh,
Mhm.
and they give Claire a lot more to do in this season too, overall.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, and maybe that's just because, yeah, they need ideas and that everybody's getting comfortable with the characters and their personalities and how how they would react to a scenario. Claire being kind of the obsessive, like, control freak mom. Uh, the other thing in that election day, dude, there is like a slight poking fun of journalists, very
Mhm.
subtle, very slight about like local journalists. And again, this is
Oh yeah, they
where they're like getting a report at and he's like, "Okay, who you voting for?" And she's like, "Claire Dunphy." And he's like, "Oh, thank God somebody said it. Been waiting for someone to say they're voting for Claire Dunphy." He's like, "Why are you voting for Claire?" And she's like, because I am Claire Dunphy." Like, he's like, "Oh, okay. Well, he's like, I'm in ad sales. We just rotate through for the journalistic pieces." And he's just like telling him that he's like, yeah, doesn't give a shit. He got like assigned this off the desk from the ad sales department.
Mhm. No, yeah. It's
Yeah, it's
like
like that's
it's very yeah, it's a yeah, how manipulative
and just how
journalists
like
are.
lazy it was getting to,
Yeah.
like, yeah, the death of local media, basically local journalism.
Yeah.
It was starting where it was all becoming about these big nationalized papers, and the local papers were all dying and getting bought up by like Sinclair or whoever owns all those local papers now.
Hmm.
Bankrolls them. Uh, But yeah, man, another
But
great fucking season. No,
yeah,
please.
in episode 24 also that's where sort of Haley kind of takes charge a little bit more and she cooks the dinner for like her and like Alex and her date and like I think the rest, the rest of the family.
Yeah.
Um, and like to show that she's matured. And Alex's date turns out to be obviously gay.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, and also another great Phil line. Like she comes, like Alex comes down the stairs in her dress, and Claire says, "Oh, you look so cute," and she's like, "Mom, I'm not a puppy." And Phil says, "Oh, honey, you look incredibly sexy."
Yeah, he's like, I got this, honey. You look so sexy. And he like puts his arm around Claire.
Yeah,
Yeah. Dude, Phil is great with those like the awkward sexual innuendo lines.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Like again, like with the
Um,
Gloria stuff with him too. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and then we found out that yeah, Haley gets accepted into college. Um,
She's like, I got waitlisted, and then Claire's like, we'll take it, and they like she like high fives Phil.
yeah,
Yeah, dude.
but no, I get yeah. So in the whole the season ends with Gloria admitting that she's pregnant. So Kim and Mitchell didn't get their baby, and they kind of like there's a nice moment where they're lying out in the field staring up at like the stars at night, and they kind of realize they don't um they don't actually need the baby. They've been worrying about everything for nothing.
Right.
Yeah, and that's a great moment. And something that could have been like so sappy and like it was really just done in a nice way. Like they found the way they found out was that whole like telenovela going on in front of them,
Right.
and like that was hilarious.
And they can't,
Um,
she doesn't want to give up the baby anymore. And yeah, they don't get
yeah,
the, yeah, which I'm sure is, I've heard some stories, like horror stories about that. Yeah.
yeah.
Especially with adoption. Yeah. Even if you're not a gay couple, you're just a straight couple trying to adopt with, because I mean, yeah, everybody knows this. And I think they warn you about it when you're signing up for that kind of thing.
Mhm.
That like, people change their mind, especially after like being in labor and then holding their baby in their arms after, they
Yeah,
suddenly are like, actually, I don't want to give it up. So that's like a thing that happens, probably pretty common. And yeah, just the
yeah,
way they do it again, it's wholesome, it's loving, it's about family first, it's about realizing, being grateful for what you have, all of these kind of classic American ideas, the fabric of our civilization, you know, being grateful for what you have, wholesomeness, like family first in this type of way. Uh, yeah, just I mean, I can't say enough about it because again, this is just like the peak of the series. Everything's humming along, all cylinders are just smashing forward, and it's just great. And this is the time when they're like cleaning up Emmys, like
Mhm.
everybody, like every actor is getting nominated. They're winning best ensemble cast, they're winning best comedy, everything. They're just cleaning up the categories every year.
Yeah. Emmys and Golden Globes. It was
Yeah.
people's like every award like they were winning it. It's like no show could really catch it at this time.
And dude, I mean, looking back, I mean, no show is even close. I mean, we've tried to like, I've been trying to be fair because I'm like, oh, am I just singling out this show? But yeah, like Big Bang Theory, like all the shows that were big at the time.
Not yeah, not even nearly
Yeah,
as
not
funny.
even
I mean,
close.
even the Office was still on, but it was like the last seasons, so it was
Yeah,
like or whatever. It's like
everybody was done with it, and Steve Carell was gone, and yeah,
yeah, Parks and Rec was on the decline. Like all
yeah,
the ones that were the other ones that were popular just didn't make it. Like Two Broke Girls or The New Girl or whatever those
yeah, yeah,
those shows. Again, like delightful kind of put them on in the background sitcoms, but just like not nearly as great as Modern Family. Like the writing, directing, like the cast and the comedic timing of everything. It's just
Yeah.
and it's so the episodes go by so quickly. I mean, and they're only
Yeah.
22 minutes, but like it goes by quicker than that because it's just so fast paced.
And they pack so much in, like, because yeah, 10 main characters, and all of them get something to do, in those 22 minutes, and it's a satisfying kind of arc in those 22 minutes. Again, like it's such a great writing. Like you only get that when everything is just humming, and the writers are locked in, the actors are locked in, like everything's working.
And it's one of those shows that like you kind of need to watch two or three times
Yeah,
because it's like it's so the jokes are so fast and some of them are so like nuanced or they're callbacks and you don't remember the exact episode, but like I don't know, I just always find sometimes you're watching it, it's just like a joke is so good you think about it for a little
yeah,
bit. You will miss the next joke if you think about the last joke because like that's how
exactly.
fast it is. So you'll
I
always
miss,
find
dude,
something new in
that
it.
ice cream cake one, dude. Like
Mm.
that's I like miss like the whole like beginning of the next episode because it was like auto playing on it because I was just still thinking about that ice cream cake with David Cross spitting that cake out. He's
Yeah.
like, "Well, let's hurry up. It's an ice cream cake." Actually, it isn't. It's like, "What?
Mhm.
Fine, take your time." Yeah, dude. So fucking good.
Yeah.
Just great. All right. Yeah, I think we said everything for this. Did we miss anything?
Uh, I don't think so. Uh, no, no. I think, yeah, looking at my notes, I think we covered it all.
That's fantastic. Dude, again, thanks again for doing this, Eric. We will continue to do this. Listeners, you're going to be back for the next part 4 here. We do season 4.
Season four. Oh, and I've already seen a few episodes. It's so
Yeah,
good.
dude. Some of my favorites, I think, are from season 4. Is season 4 the it all blurs together after rewatching so many times. Is that the one? I think there's an episode where like Phil or Jay is trying to take Manny and Gloria back to his like high school reunion or something.
Yeah, he hires a helicopter. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Manny is so good in that, dude, because he's like obsessed with the hotel amenities.
Yeah.
And they're like
Yeah.
have to stay at a motel. He's like, "Oh, I don't like the sound of that. A lot of
Mhm.
amenities disappear when an H becomes an M." Like, and then Jay looks at him. He's like, "You know, when I met you, you were eating cereal out of a bucket. Look, some like poverty kid in Colombia or whatever." Like,
That's
yeah.
true.
He's like now he's like getting massages with his like rich stepdad. Yeah, fucking great. But all right, man. Yeah, till next time with this. Thanks again for doing this, man. It's been a lot of fun.
No, no problem, man. Thanks for having me. Always, I always look forward to these.
Heavy.
Bored.
Heavy.
I am heavy bored.
I may say that the male is entirely hostile. No!
Resources.
Life, friends, is boring. We must not say so. Are you radioactive now?
Inner.
Resources, American resources.
Being bored,
Some activities are intentional, right?
it shows such a lack
Heavy.
of gratitude for life. Bored. I aspire to boredom, I
Heavy.
should say.
Bored. Heavy.
I am heavy
Bored.
Has you the night sweats and the day sweats, pal? Pal, I do.